Welcome back to the First Seasons, everybody. We are week 43 on this sucker, and we have a ton of progress happening on site. Behind me, we've got the concrete wall that is being formed and ready for concrete, it looks like. I just was here checking it out. So reminder, right? Bracing, strong back. So we've got our double walers here, and then we've got single waler clamps everywhere else. So nice, solidly built wall. This is gonna stay nice and straight. I haven't looked down the end of it yet, but I can see the team has got their string line there, so it had better be string line straight, because that's the Sprucehill way. Now, let's dive in and check out the rest of the house, because there's so many things happening all over the place on this project. Let's jump in. So here we are at the front of the house. Masons have got a bunch of the brickwork done already. It is looking exquisite, as always. Gotta love these guys. They do a great job for us all the time. So brick going on around this window, front of the house. I mean, it really adds a certain level of sophistication to the front facade of the home, don't you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Here we are, I'm standing in the sunken living room. We've got the kitchen behind us here, and the floor installers are starting to lay out their boards. Now, this is a product I have yet to see, and basically what we've got is we've got a micro thin veneer of wood, and then we've got an HDF base on top of it. So the idea, the selling feature about this is we can have a really long length board, predetermined, and then because the veneer is so thin, it's highly dent resistant. In this home, we have clients that have dogs. They are definitely going to scratch the floor and screw it up along the way. So this product is gonna look great once it's installed, and it's water resistant, I'm told. So the materials in here have some sort of special glue in it that will not swell and cause all sorts of headaches. So part of the process here, right, is to lay this stuff all out and kind of get an idea for where the joint patterns are gonna be and make sure that we don't have any step patterns, right? So here, we've got boards in between right here. Like if this joint was here, that would be a no-no, but we've got a board in between. So that gets Erik's, well, 2 thumbs up. Nonetheless, the trade partner that we're working with on this project is our friends at Ethical Flooring. We've been dealing with Steve Filsweiser from Ethical for, I think, over a decade now. If you want a trade partner that is gonna have your back and support you, Steve's your guy. You just stop looking, call Steve. He'll take good care of you. Tell him Erik sent you. You'll be good. Now, more about this flooring. This is, I'm just gonna butcher that if I try to say it, Kyle. But anyways, that's the flooring. If you wanna learn more about it, Google it, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna Google it too, because I've never seen this kind of flooring before. It looks super cool. Now, the next thing that I wanna show you is the custom nosings that these guys have made out of this stuff. So let's slide over to the living room and check that out. So I don't wanna unpack this stuff and cause all sorts of headaches and hassles for these guys, but you can see that all of this stuff has been mitered, and this, basically what they do is they take a piece of flooring and they miter it and put it all together. Now, one of the things that people don't realize is that if you actually have like a sharp 90-degree angle on your flooring, it is insanely uncomfortable to walk up and down those stairs in bare feet or socks. You can see that they've kind of rounded this over. It's about 1/8 of an inch round over. And then they apply an epoxy filler to the front edge here to maintain the same color as the flooring, because otherwise you would just see the MDF or HDF veneer base, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You'll see this brown stuff in behind the wood. So they've basically stained the front nosing here, and that is going to yield a very long lasting and very comfortable stair to walk up and down. And also, you know, for all of these sunken living room areas here. So we've got quite a bit of nosing that has to go in this house, and that's all been prefabricated and ready to go. So stay tuned to see what that looks like when it's installed. The next thing I want to talk about, Kyle, is you'll see that pretty much every square inch, more or less, of this floor now is gray. And it has received most of it, not all of it, but most of it's received floor leveler. And the reason we do that is this is a floating floor product, right? It doesn't get glued down, I don't think. Does this get glued down, Steve? Yeah. I lie. it does get glued down. But even once it's glued down, you still want to have a relatively flat substrate on which to mount your floor, because otherwise you get dips and bows and it does all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So they come in here, they grind the floors clean, they put down a primer, because remember, if you are putting down floor leveler, you need to put some sort of bonding agent between the plywood and the floor leveler. And then you should also have a bonding agent between each layer of floor leveler if you're doing multiple floor levelers. Yeah, pretty sure about that. Anyways, going over here, you can see that this area here, maybe they put in a little bit too much floor leveler. So they just ground it down with their diamond grinder and made this area flat. So they go around with, I'm trying to see if one of their straight edges is kicking around, but they have like a 10-foot straight edge to make sure that there's no big humps or wobbles or anything like that in the floor. And that's how they can make sure that they're doing a quality job. Now, if we spin around and we kind of get you over here, Kyle, and we look behind us here, right? The reason they're starting there is that is the longest run in the house. And we always want to start at the longest run of the house, because that is where you're going to make or break things looking straight. If you're not straight from the get-go, you're going to have problems for the rest of time. So we want to make sure that everything is nice and straight. Anyways, yeah, straight, good. So in here, we've got Patrick, our magical tile setter, getting his stuff done. But how amazing is this bathroom looking? Like floor to seal.
I have to run like it's a
Go. Yeah, this is great action. Go. So right now, this is going to be a steam shower over here, right? So Patrick is getting that sucker up there, and then through hope, dreams, prayers, and everything else, he gets that tile.
Everything has to be like 100% level. The whole ceiling has to be deadly straight.
Yeah.
And then you're basically just using like a quarter trowel, so it's just a little bit of mortar, and it holds itself basically.
Yeah.
So it has to be super precise. That's the whole idea. Basically, when you do a ceiling tile, that's basically the magic.
Really?
So, oh yeah, 100%. That's why this one, the preparation is the crucial thing.
Right.
Yeah. Then that whole thing, boom, it's hold itself. Like you don't even have to support it.
That's
so
wild.
It's a little bit scary for sure, but it's you have to have a practice.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's amazing.
So this is what it is.
Cool, Patrick. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was great. Okay, so here we are in the future, one of the future mechanical areas. And so the team here is getting pre-finished birch plywood onto these walls and ceiling. And it's just something that we like to do on our projects. I mean, it doesn't cost that much more than regular plywood. I don't know, it just looks so damn good. I mean, the other option is to use regular butt cut 3/4 inch plywood and then paint it with like a gray enamel paint or something like that. That looks really slick too. But I don't know, this pre-finished birch ply looks really good. And you'll see the team does a good job of trying to do their best to line up the screws and make everything look really clean and tidy and professional. And yeah, you should be proud to show off your mechanical room. That's kind of like where contractors go to look, I think. In here, you can see that we've got some spray foam leaking out underneath the walls. And you at home might be wondering, why in the hell do they have spray foam underneath the drywall? Well, the reason being is to prevent the floor leveler from leaking underneath the walls and just disappearing on us. So we use spray foam, or they use spray foam to keep the floor leveler where we want it. And here's the basement. We got Jay here. He is getting ready to cut another piece of plywood for the mechanical room that we were just looking at over there. But otherwise, it's echo in here. And that's because it's empty. But soon enough, it'll be full of flooring and cabinetry, and it is going to look incredible. Let's go outside and check out what's happening outside. One of the things that we are doing on this project is redoing the drain tile as much as we can around the house. You'll recall that like the front foundation wall is almost like 12 or 14 feet tall. It's like massive. So nonetheless, we've got all of our drain tile going in here. This is all perf pipe. I'm not sure why we've got two going here, but we do. So this is all perforated pipe picking up groundwater going in there. You can see that this thing's already got water coming into it. I don't see where the water leaves this thing from yet, But I'm sure the team is working on that fairly soon. Some voodoo science going on here. Anyways, that's what's going on. I mean, it's pretty cool. That's what it looks like around the perimeter of your home that you can't see. The black goop is damp proofing, right? So for everybody looking at home, that's damp proofing that's been recently applied. And you can see that we've got a Fernco fitting down there that's attached to the existing clay drain tile. So we're just adding drainage as it steps down here through the foundation to do our best to minimize how much water finds its way to the foundation. That's a wrap on today, everybody. Listen, we so appreciate you watching our content and checking things out. Would it be too much to ask you to subscribe to the channel, follow us if it's on Instagram or Facebook, or maybe even share this with a friend or family member? We would really appreciate it. Anyways, in the meantime, if you have a home that you've been dreaming about transforming and doing something incredible with, or maybe not even that incredible, you just want to do an update, modest update. Either way, we want to be your partners in success. You can phone us or find us on the web and look us up over there. Whatever suits you, we're happy to receive your call and connect. We want to make your dreams come true. In the meantime, I've also started another channel called The Ground Truth with Erik Jensen. It's a little more political, and I talk more about like bylaws and how we can improve housing affordability and just make, well, Vancouver specifically, but Canada, a great place to build homes and live in. It's really the purpose of the channel. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Talk to you later. Bye now.